Sure, you probably love the Descendants movies as much as we do, and you've probably noticed how wicked their outfits are, but we bet there's a lot more to them than meets the eye. You probably won't even believe how long it took actress Sophia Carson to get into character. First time at the things? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. Now, let's jump right into the 10 crucial things about the Descendants costumes you never knew. The costumes were designed by Project Runway's Kara. It's every designer's dream to get hired as a costume designer for one of the biggest projects of the year. But when it comes to designing the costumes for the Descendants, most of us could agree that this was a project of the decade. German designer Kara was a part of the first season of Project Runway. Although she didn't take home the title of the best fashion designer in America, she did come in second place. Regardless, San has had hundreds of opportunities in the fashion world since becoming Project Runway's first runner-up. After designing glorious gowns and outfits for artists like Queen Latifah, Heidi Klum, and Mary J. Blige, she was approached by the Descendants producers and given a job she couldn't refuse. After reading the script, San knew that she would never have the opportunity to design such glorious costumes again, which is why she never once thought of turning her back on the project. After all, it's not every day that a production needs a boatload of punky, gothic clothing items that mimic the outfits of some of the best Disney villains on the market. Carlos's character needed a lot of costumes. There is so much that goes on behind the scenes of our favorite movies. While it's easy to forget that actors and costume designers have lives of their own, it can be interesting to observe them in action from the sidelines. Anyone who's watched the Descendants movies knows that its main actors go through a long process to get ready for their scenes. However, not many of us have realized that these villainous teens sometimes put themselves in danger to nail a shot. Luckily for them, their well-being is too precious to risk, which is why stunt doubles tend to come into play. Actor Cameron Boyce is the man behind the character Carlos, and while he means business on set, he too needs a body double. When he began filming for the Descendants in 2014, Boyce's character needed a total of 5 body doubles throughout the entire film. While this kept him safe from harm, it did put pressure on the movie's designers. After all, they needed to recreate the same outfits twice in order to make the shots look believable. So, not only did the Descendants actors all have extravagant costumes tailored to size, but their body doubles also received the same treatment. Nearly 2,000 costumes were used in Descendants 2. After doing such a fantastic job designing outfits for the first Descendants movie, Kara was asked to continue her legacy on Descendants 2. The fashion designer happily agreed to come on board and promised to raise the stakes even higher for the sequel. And let's just say, she didn't disappoint. Since the movie's plotline allowed for a more experimental genre, San decided to watch a great number of Disney movies and gain inspiration from them. Designing the pirate crew's outfits proved to be challenging. However, San and her crew had a lot of fun with the task. Despite having a large budget when it came to costume design, San never once thought that she'd be designing over 1,500 outfits for the movie's sequel. Thanks to the movie's large cast, countless doubles, and challenging scenes, San had no choice but to go all out. After all, everyone's outfits had to look on point, no matter what role they had in the film. A large majority of these costumes were created by hand, which added to the challenge. Since the movie is a musical and dancing was required, these costumes also needed to be tweaked to prevent from wrinkling up or flaring about. All in all, San had her work cut out for her. Tattoos were added to the pirates' costumes. Some people do crazy things to feel like they're part of a group. When it comes to the pirate crew from the Descendants 2, let's just say that they were 100% responsible for their actions. While a few fake tattoos might have been drawn on during the movie's production, the actors pertaining to the pirate crew decided to take things a little further. While the pirates might appear to fear their leader Uma in the movie, this is far from accurate in real life. As a matter of fact, the pirate crew can't get enough of each other in modern daylight. The crew of youngins took to social media to boast about their latest costume additions, which just so happened to be permanent tattoos. While the Descendants 2 designers never asked for them to go all the way, the crew took it upon themselves to get inked. In order to stay true to their role, the friends chose to get an anchor tattooed on themselves. While there are worse tattoos out there, we just hope that they never regret their decision. In the end, this tattoo will always remind them of all the fun they had working together on the set of Descendants 2. No wigs were harmed in the making of Cameron Boyce's costume. At first. There are some movie roles that require a lot of dedication, and by this, we mean that some actors end up having to take their work home. Instead of wearing a wig like the rest of his co-stars, Cameron Boyce was asked to dye his hair in a platinum blonde shade. Despite having dark features and black hair, Boyce agreed to go platinum blonde for the year and actually ended up vibing with the look. Despite enjoying the outcome, there was nothing that Boyce hated more than the process. This is because bleaching his hair could sometimes take a total of 6 hours to accomplish. After going through this the first time, Boyce made it a point to ask for a wig while filming the second and third Descendants movie. We totally understand. Bleaching his hair a bunch of times had really affected his hair's well-being. In order to stay true to his character's look, Boyce ended up wearing a platinum blonde wig for the rest of the production, and it managed to fool the majority of us. Boyce got a small taste of what actors like James Marsters and James Michael Tyler had to go through. These stars played the roles of Spike and Gunther, respectively. In the end, these actors had to bleach their hair for nearly a decade. Kara San gave the villains' outfits a 70s feel to them. When it comes to designing some of the most wicked costumes we've ever seen, Kara San is the one to beat. This fashion designer put so much thought and effort into her costumes that her craft almost appears to be effortless, when it is, in fact, the opposite of that. Since the movie's plotline places every Disney villain on a deserted island, San thought it would be a good idea to halt their growth in terms of fashion. When you think about it, none of the villains have had a chance to grow and move along with the times, which is why San thought it'd be hilarious to pigeonhole their outfits to the 70s era. Since the evil teens also grew up on this island, the same type of feel was attributed to their debut outfits. In order to make the teens look more rebellious and cool, she chose to add a punk rock look to their outfits as well. This gorge look definitely caught the eye of fans all over the world. Seriously, most of us have never seen outfits with such style and personality before. Dove Cameron had to wear a wig to get into character. A lot of the actors who appeared in the Descendants movie had never had the chance to act before. With this in mind, many of them had to learn the ropes and deal with long production times and challenging choreography. Regardless, the movie's crew was up and running in no time. Cameron Dove might have been young at the time, but she was no newbie when it came to singing and dancing on stage. The young American actress landed the role of Mal in 2015. However, she'd been acting in Disney Channel's Liv and Maddie since 2013. Although she would have liked to dye her hair purple, Cameron was forbidden to do so. This is because she also played the role of Liv and Maddie, who both had blonde hair. In order to please both productions, Cameron decided to sport a purple wig while on the set of Descendants, and stay true to her natural hair color while on the set of Liv and Maddie. Having to wear a wig might have made getting into costume a little more challenging, but in the end, everything worked out for the best. The teens' outfits were inspired by their parents' colors. There's something you might not have noticed. And it's a fun fact, too. Did you know that designer Kara San actually designed Mal, Carlos, Jay, and Evie's outfits to resemble the ones worn by their parents? Since creating their ideal costumes took a lot of time and planning, San decided to take a gander at their parents' outfits and mimic them to a fault. This gave San the creative freedom she needed, all the while allowing the audience to know whose child they were looking at. Since Mal's mother is the one and only Maleficent, she chose to dress her up in deep purples and tight leather. Carlos was dressed in spotted clothing because of his relation to Cruella de Vil, and Jay's clothing was made to mimic Jafar's. Evie's look was also based off her dear mother, the evil queen. And so on and so forth, you get what we're saying. In the end, no detail, no matter how small, was overlooked by the Descendants fashion team. After being given the opportunity of a lifetime, San made sure to pour her heart and soul into her designs, and her hard work paid off. The 3 designs that took Kara San's breath away. During an interview with Nicole Minaj, Kara San was asked a very simple question, but she still had some trouble answering it, and we don't blame her. After being asked whether or not she had a favorite costume from the movie, the designer proceeded to tell her interviewer that she had 3 of them. San revealed how much fun she had designing the villains' children costumes. She said this was especially fun because she got to rewatch all of the Disney movies while taking in the interesting outfits worn by the evil characters. San also revealed that she had a blast designing Mal's coronation gown due to how glorious and unique it was. Lastly, San also stated that she was overjoyed by the fact that she got to design Maleficent's wardrobe. So there you have it. Those are 3 of San's favorite Descendants outfits. With so many gorgeous designs to choose from, it can be difficult to pick out a favorite. Because of this, San had to create a top 3. Unfortunately for you guys, we want to know which outfit rocked your world the most. So why don't you tell us whose costume you like the best? Mal, Jay, Carlos, or Evie's? It took Sofia Carson 2.5 hours to get ready. Getting into character isn't something that happens in the blink of an eye. However, it is something that should happen within a few hours. When it came to Sofia Carson, getting into her character's shoes took a total of 2.5 hours every single day. Well, there's no denying that hair and makeup can take a long time to perfect. It's also true that female actors have a more complex routine than their male counterparts. Since Carson's character needed to be dressed up to the nines, the young actress had to show up about 3 hours early to set every single day. But that didn't matter, because Carson admits to enjoying every second of her transformation. She said that she used this time to practice her lines, go over her scenes, and relax before a hectic day of filming began. With so many actors and extras on set, it's a wonder that the team got everyone ready on time. If there's one thing that's for sure, it's that the Descendants fashion crew is unbeatable. Are you excited to watch The Descendants 3? If so, let us know what you like best about these movies in the comments. And that's it for our video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.